Hi guys, it's Sylvia here. So for today's topic for the video will be staying true to yourself. We often hear, oh, stay true to yourself, and what does it actually mean? And how do you know if you're staying true to yourself? Well, I think deep down we kind of all know. If we're being real and true and honest with ourselves. But, it's so easy to get lost in other people's expectations. And I know for someone like me who is very caring and empathetic, and I really don't like hurting and try to not hurt other people, it can be tough to sometimes make certain decisions or say certain things that I fear will hurt somebody else. So as a result, what I do is I hold it inside, and as a result, I sacrifice my own self, my own, what I feel that I need to do and say for my own happiness and following my true path. So where is that balance? Recently I had a situation where I had to make a decision that, I knew was good for me, but it was going to hurt someone else, at least temporarily. And, I feel that we often have these situations in our lives. And if we don't follow that true path, if we don't, do the things that we know deep down are the right ones because we're too scared to hurt someone, or, we're too worried about, someone's feelings, and we feel too bad for that person. That only results in a delay in a lot of unhappiness, chronic, depression, and a delay in your own happiness. And you also, by protecting that other person, we're actually doing them a disservice as well. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because really it's so important, because that so many of us end up in unhappy relationships for way longer than, and the wrong relationships for way longer than we should be in them, when you could correct the path, and in that time you could be in the right relationship with someone that is right for you, or being in careers or jobs that we're not truly happy with. So recently what inspired me to make this video is because I recently moved house a few days ago. It's beginning of the month now, so at the end of the month I wanted to get a bigger place. So I saw this apartment. It was only the second house that I viewed. It was to be shared with this guy that seemed really nice. He was an artist, a musician, very easy to get along with. And I don't like this process of moving and looking for a house, and I quite liked the place. I liked him. I felt we could get along okay. So I just made the decision very quickly that I'll take it, so that I avoid having to search and so on for and spend time on viewing apartments and so on. So I just wanted it to be done and wrapped up as quickly as possible. So I did that, and I paid him a security deposit of 2 weeks of month's rent, and I moved in. End of the month, packed my bags. He was so nice. He helped me move in. I moved into the house, and as soon as I moved in, this sinking realization crashed on me, and that I was like, did I make the wrong choice here? I felt that the living space wasn't quite as good as I first thought it was gonna be, and I realized that me living in that space it would actually hinder me from doing all the things that I got to do in my career, and to get ahead in my goals. And I felt that it would really, it wouldn't help me get ahead. It would actually hinder my progress. And I was sitting on that bed with all my stuff packed and bagged, exhausted after moving. And I just broke down. I got emotional. My heart sank, because I was like, did I make the wrong choice? What do I do now? Is it really the right choice for me? And my excitement slowly dropped. I discussed my concerns with him. He kind of tried to put them to rest as best as he could. However, what I did is, okay, I thought to myself, okay, I need to see what other options are there. I need to at least cross that option off. Okay. But at least I got to see, and I believe that the best thing that's meant to happen, it will happen. Okay. So I basically immediately went online. I looked at what other places were available. I seen a couple of them. I sent a couple of messages, and guess what? In about half an hour, I had a response from one of them. A few hours later that evening, I went and I seen the place, and I met the girl. The place was available immediately. She was a really sweet girl. It's this place right now that I'm in. It was a nice big, spacious place, very clean, and at the same price that I was going to pay there. And I then thought to myself, I then wasn't sure, and this feeling inside of me of guilt towards him about changing my mind last minute, the day before I'm supposed to formally pay rent and move in. This heavy guilt feeling, I was just feeling terrible. And I was just so torn of what to do. Do I stay? Do I give it a chance for a month or two? Or do I just leave? Which would have been terrible, leaving him like that when he's expecting to have a tenant, to have a month's rent paid. So after much thought, I debated it, I twisted and I turned the issue on many different aspects. And you know what? I realized that, look, I have really two choices here. I stay in this place, which I deep down, my intuition is telling me is not right for me. I stay, I get stressed for a month, I debate, I'm not sure. I waste a lot of energy on, thinking about this issue, on being in a place that I'm not feeling is aligned with my actual goals, and what I'm trying to do, in the direction I'm trying to go with my career. Or do I take this decision? Do I move in while my stuff is all packed already? Yes, means another day of moving and stress and tiredness. Oh, but happy days. But at least I'd be in that space, and it'd be way easier to move now than to move in another month or so again. After I've unpacked and pack again and so on. So that night I sent a message to the girl. I let her know that I will be moving in the next day. I made the arrangements, that it was really easy to make. Again, everything fell into place very, very nicely. And the next day I went home. I had the conversation with him in the morning. I just went straight to the point. I explained to him how I felt about it. I explained to him how bad I was feeling to put him in this situation. And you know what? It wasn't an easy conversation, but I'm so glad I did it. I can't even imagine how it would have been. And as terrible as I felt in that moment, I felt an incredible feeling of relief after that, and so much joy when I was moved in here and I was unpacking, and I knew that I made the right choice. So, this is what inspired me to make this video. And how do you know what will be the right choice? So I find, for me, what helps me is a couple of things. First of all, is getting inside my body and getting outside. We tend to rationalize different choices, even though deep down we know that they're not right for us. We'll tend to rationalize in order for us to stay in a situation that, even though it's uncomfortable, it's not right for us. It's comfortable because it's what we know best. Okay, so like staying in a relationship that deep down a little part of you knows that you could be doing better, or deep down you know that it's not the right partner for you, but you talk yourself out of it or into staying into it because that's your comfort zone. And change by our mind is perceived as uncomfortable because it's unknown, right? ooh, what's it gonna be? You know, if it's not this relationship, what else is it gonna be? No, I don't know. This is safe. This is safe. This is what we know, right? So then you give yourselves all these reasons to stay in the situation, even though it's not the best for you. So getting inside the body and really asking yourself that question, is this the right decision for me? Is this the right situation for me? And really seeing how it makes you feel. You know, if you feel a contracting feeling where you're shrinking, your stomach's contracting, it's tensing, you're becoming smaller in a way, that is not the right choice for you. And then if you think about the other option that you have, you know, whether it's at the different place like I was, like I had, or you know, leaving the relationship, or changing the careers, or leaving that job, you know, what do you feel? Do you feel this expansive feeling, like you're growing, like you're becoming free? So that means that's your what's the word I'm looking for? That's your tip right there, to follow. You know, that's what you're looking for. That is the right decision, because you should feel this expansive feeling, this growth feeling, this freeing feeling. That's the right choice for you. And the other thing that I find helps me is meditating. So, you know, clearing my mind, taking a few 3 to 5 deep breaths, then really breathing, taking deep breaths, focusing on my breath, really getting into my body and being aware, and then asking that question multiple times and seeing what's the first thing that comes up. You know, you can ask like a yes or no question, and it's the first answer that comes up, almost like a whisper. That's your intuition telling you the right choice, and not overthinking it, just the first immediate thing that comes up. That's that little voice inside that knows what is best for you. And when you get good at listening to that and following that voice will get louder and louder. And you know, when we all start being true to ourselves, it's not about being an asshole and being insensitive to other people's needs and feelings. It's nothing to do with that. You can stay true to yourself, and respect other people's feelings at the same time, if you explain yourself in the right ways, and if you make it clear that you don't intend on hurting or on hurting the other person, really, or on harming them in any way, and you are sensitive and understanding about their needs as well, because if we truly really all do that, then, you know, if you're truly true to yourself, you make those decisions, you are happy, you're able to share that happiness and be your true self and affect others at the same time. But if you're not, that will inevitably, you know, your frustration, your unhappiness will inevitably hurt and harm other people, even though your intention might be to not. You know, and your intention would be to, you know, not hurt others, and therefore you hurt yourself, right? So first I want to leave you with one thought. A friend of mine told me this, that, you know, when you're faced with such a decision, it's really a couple, you know, it's really it's really clear. So the choice is between two things. Do you choose to be uncomfortable for that short period of time, that conversation or that moment when you have to make that choice and have that difficult conversation, and then be happy and relieved after that for a long time? Or do you choose to stay comfortable and stay unhappy for a long time, right? Until life forces you to make that choice, because eventually life has a way where, you know, it will lead you back to you correcting your course of action. So that's it for today, my friends. That's what I want to leave you with. I really hope this video helped you in whatever in life you're going through, whatever situation. Like this video if you like it, comment to share your own experiences, have you had any life situations that where you had to choose between, you know, something that you knew deep down in your heart that was true and good for you, and you know, that feeling of protecting the other people around you. So let me know in the comments below. Like the video, share, subscribe to me so you'll get notified about my future videos. And that's it. I leave you on this note. Take care, and hasta la vista, my friends.